So have you guys seen the teaser trailer for the new Halloween movie? They dropped on Halloween. Jamie Lee Curtis posted it on social media. Yeah, of course. If you, well, I'm going to be on until probably for another 6 hours. So I don't know if you're going to outlast me, but if you do, I'll raid you. Or if you want to go on a little bit later. Anyway. I want to break down this Halloween Kills teaser. Mitch! How you doing, buddy? But first, before we do that, we have to talk about last year's Halloween and thoughts on that. I know that some of you liked it, some of you didn't like it. I both liked it and did not like it at the same time. I've seen it probably 7 times now since it came out. What's up, Fatal? I've seen it probably about 7 times since it came out. And there's things that it got right and things that it got very wrong. And that is the frustrating part about it. So things that got right, it got so right. So right. And particularly for like hardcore fans. Like there's probably 3 main pillars that you need to make Halloween fans happy. And that is because the biggest frustrations over the course of all the sequels, the entire series, is the inconsistencies in Michael, the mask, and the music. Aside from how crazy the stories got and such. So in 2018, they cut out all them sequels, except for the first. Halloween 2018 is... Oh, cool. Good job, Mitch. So Halloween 2018 is a direct sequel to the original, meaning there's no brother-sister angle. None of that crazy shit that goes down after the first one. Michael Myers doesn't have a reason to pursue Laurie. It's just simply him being evil. Him just wanting to kill and us not knowing why. So that was the original intent of the first one. 2018 follows that up. And in some ways it's great, some ways it's frustrating. So Halloween, how you doing, Ozzy? Halloween 2018. They got the mask amazingly right, I thought. That mask was the best sequel mask out of any of the movies, I'd have to say. I mean, you can make an argument that the original Halloween 2 was better because that was still the original Myers mask from 1. But the guy playing Myers was different, so it looked different on his face. So in 2018, they got the mask insanely right. I thought. It looked like you took that original Myers mask from the first movie and put it in a police locker for 40 years. That's what it looked like to me. I thought it looked legit. I thought that was the best effort anyone's put together. Okay. And, so the next thing is Michael himself. The guy that played Michael in 2018, James Jude Courtney, knocked it out of the park. I can 100% believe that that was the original Myers 40 years later, based on the movements, the gestures, the patience, all that stuff. I love that. That was a huge plus. Okay, so those 2 things were fantastic. I can't say enough about Michael. Like, I wish he had a little bit more screen time, and I wish that they put him in some better situations to show him basically playing with his food. Like, I don't know, some parts that, like, the one-shot scene was brilliant. In the beginning, when he first gets back to Haddonfield and he has the mask on and goes house to house, that was fucking brilliant. Hi, Official Morpheus. That shot apparently took them, like, a lot to hit, because as soon as he picks up the hammer, from that point, picking up the hammer in the shed, until when he puts the knife through the chick's throat in the house, that's all one take. And everyone's moving around in one take. So they had to rehearse it for a while, and then it took a while to shoot. So, like, that was brilliant. But then in other aspects, like, he just didn't feel like the original character to me. But I don't think that was James Jude Courtney's fault at all. I think that was just the way that they wrote the movie and whatnot. And there's more to be said about that later. So yeah, Mask was great. Michael, great. The third thing is the music. One of my favorite movie soundtracks of all time is from that movie. 100%. 100%. And yeah, like, the music was, they modernized it, but it still felt like Halloween. It still felt like John Carpenter, and it was amazing. Like, Because there's been some weird takes on the soundtrack over the years. Yeah. Also, I mean, one of the problems I had with not Courtney, but the movie, was they played around way too much with showing his face. They didn't show the face, but they got really close a couple of times in broad daylight, and I don't agree with that. I think that kind of takes away the mystique of Michael, you know? He needs to be kind of in the shadows. The more you have to imagine what he looks like, the better. Something about seeing him in broad daylight was just kind of like, Yeah, they cut some good stuff out. They cut some bad stuff out, too. Like, the scene where Sartain was picking his nose. Thank God they cut that shit out. Anyway, third pillar that they got done, well, it was the music. Number 4 was obviously Jamie Lee Curtis. Although you can argue with the direction they're trying to take the franchise. Mikey! Yeah, like, I thought, like, just playing around with him without the mask on, I didn't like it. I don't know. It just made me feel a certain way. I can't explain it. It just kind of took away the mystique. But you're right. He does get unmasked in the first one. And I've heard arguments that might be... The terrifying part about that is that he looks like just like your everyday neighbor. Just a, you know, decent-looking young kid. Like, it could be anybody, you know? Where's I going? Okay, so Jamie Lee Curtis. I think that her performance was amazing in that movie. She portrayed the trauma from the first one in an extremely convincing way. That being said, you can argue a negative on this. Because if you think about the narrative they're going with, they went out of their way to take that brother-sister narrative out of there. Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael Myers, they aren't related anymore. So if you're doing that, if that's your intent to take that out of there, you then have to jump through some hoops to figure out why the fuck Michael's chasing her to begin with. So, I don't know. It's almost like if you're going to keep Jamie Lee Curtis in it, like, so that they have two competing ideas. They have this one competing idea that Michael Myers, the original intent of the character, is evil and randomness like the shark in Jaws. Just kill, not really why. Likes to play with his food a little bit. But then you have Jamie Lee Curtis, where there's supposed to be this interesting fascination there within the brother-sister angle. So you're trying to keep both those ideas kind of going. It's a weird thing to me. Hi, NCV. Yeah, we're going to get to that. We're going to break down the whole teaser and all that and my thoughts on it. We're just getting started. I'm just reviewing 2018 before we get into the teaser. So stick around, Morpheus. It's going to be a party. Mother Russia has arrived. Yeah. But, so, like, you can argue that the Jamie Lee Curtis angle, her being in it, her existing, led into the worst part of the movie for a lot of people. Yeah. The Sartain thing was there. The reason Dr. Sartain existed in that movie, which I actually like the character. Sartain himself was extremely interesting as a character. I think he was a decent follow-up to Loomis. But the sole reason he existed, that's what sucks about it so bad. The sole reason he existed was just to get Michael free and to get Michael to Laurie because they took away the brother-sister angle. So I think had you just kept the brother-sister angle, you would have had, you know, a better plot, a more seamless plot, you know, that kind of thing. Or I like the idea of perhaps, I heard that they were thinking this over. They may have even shot this originally and then taken it out. I heard the original intent was for when Michael's getting on the bus to get transferred. I'd heard the original idea was for Laurie to attack the bus. Bye, Fatal. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting into now. If you're gonna go that angle, I think that Laurie attacking the bus and accidentally setting him free, and them kind of clashing right there would have made a ton of fucking sense. Yeah, and I heard that they shot that, but when they did the first screening of the movie, they didn't like the ending, and they changed a lot of it. That's what I had heard. Yeah, the prison montage, the music and all that. Vsauce, we're talking about the Halloween teaser that came out for next year's sequel on Halloween, and we're reviewing the first movie. That's what we got going down. And it's one of the cool things to talk about because so many people are passionate about the Halloween movies and have different takes on this. So I've talked to people that absolutely love the brother sister angle. Other people hate it. You know, things like that. Okay, all right. That's good to know then. So you never know what's true and what's not. But either way, I like that idea better than the Sartain angle, certainly. I guess with Sartain, I think it would have been a little bit too, you know, directly in the eyeballs if they would have had Sartain just chasing Michael like Loomis. So you can't really go that angle. But the idea that Sartain was so fascinated with him was a good way to passively portray the mystique of Michael Myers, I thought, right? Because he was so interested and enamored with him. And I thought that was very key for, especially people who hadn't seen the earlier movies, building up that mystique of Michael, for people who may not understand. Okay, so moving on. Let's get to the negatives. Because there's definitely a few of them. And we just talked about one. One of the biggest negatives, and this is probably the most universally agreed upon one, is the Sartain twist. When I was in the theaters, you know, watching the debut, the night it was out, I was like, holy shit, what just happened? I was like, you can't tell me that after all this anticipation, they're taking this movie down this route. But then clearly, they backtrack right after that, clearly and quickly. Quickly enough that it doesn't ruin the whole movie, but it's definitely a bad spot. Definitely. The cool part about it was the kill. That was probably the best, most redeeming part, when he steps on his head and it pops like a water balloon filled with chili salsa. That was pretty wild. Yeah, you can go with that. I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that. That's, whether that's intent or interpretation, that's a really cool way to look at it, I think. That Sartain was meant to signify the audience. Yes, we're talking about the Halloween franchise. Okay, so that was the biggest negative. That was the glaring one for me. The other bad was the humor. I think there's a little bit too much humor in it. I think that the humor at parts in the movie killed what could have actually been really tense scenes. Yeah, the biggest part where that humor comes in a negative light has to be the Julian scene. There's just humor. Okay, you think so? I have never read a script in my life. Never ever. I'm not that in depth. I'm a fan, but I've never read a script. I've heard other people interpret certain scripts in the Halloween franchise that were never turned into movies and such. So, okay, but so you think it was just the actors, or do you think it was Gordon Green and Danny McBride involved in that? Because I mean, it had to get to the screen somehow. But either way, I thought it killed the tension. I didn't like it. I didn't like the sheriff. I didn't like the sheriff at all. I thought that Will Patton should have been the sheriff. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. And I guess they like the improv better. A little bit of humor is not so bad, right? Just a little bit. Yeah, I thought that Will Patton should have been the sheriff. I liked his character. It's a shame that he died. Again, with the Sartain angle. Fucking Sartain. Doing his shit all over the place. So, one thing that pulled me out of the movie, and this is probably my only other negative, is the ambiance. I thought the visuals in the original Halloween were so key to selling that movie. Yeah. So maybe they'll correct that with the sequel. I hope they correct, you know, that whole idea with the sequel. That'd be great. But the ambiance, the original Halloween with the shadows and the blue light, it had such a creepy, cold feel to it. It felt like we were truly, once it got to nighttime, it felt like we were truly in Michael's world. You know, in the 2018 movie, it was a pretty movie. I thought it was pretty. It was nice. It was well shot. But if you're telling me it's a direct sequel to the original, it did nothing to create that feeling from the visuals of the original movie. So, while like I think that the way they shot the movie is great for a horror movie, but if you're telling me it's a sequel to the original Halloween, I didn't feel like I was in that universe. I think they could add a little bit more blue light, and the shadows needed to be a little bit darker, and they didn't do much to play around with Michael in the shadows, except for maybe the scene with the motion detector. That and at the end in Laurie's house, you know. Yeah, like that was cool, but it was a warm feel to it. If you watch the scene, the colors, they were warmer, they weren't cooler. Like the cool color tone in the original Halloween is so essential to that feeling. Yeah. So like I just felt like I was watching like Halloween Tropical Edition or some shit. You know what I mean? It didn't feel cold, lifeless, and desperate like the first one did. That's what I'm saying. All right, what else we got? All right, so now that being said, like I think I'd give the 2018 sequel somewhere around a 7.5 and an 8 out of 10, which is really good for a horror movie. So yeah, that's okay. One more negative. There was blue light in that scene, you're right, but the trailers. God damn you, Blumhouse! The trailers. That scene where he popped out of the closet would have been one of the scarier scenes I've seen in a horror movie if it wasn't all over every fucking trailer. Every trailer ended with Michael, you know, in the closet. It's like, oh shit, I know what happens in this room. So they, like that scene, as soon as we saw the chick wearing that shirt and Julian, that scene was dead. I was out of the movie for the next 15 minutes. Yeah, fair enough. But that's not necessarily a Halloween problem so much as a movie problem in this day and age, right? And I'm the kind of guy that when I want that information, when I'm excited something new's coming out, I can't stop myself from reading shit, from looking at stuff. I have to consume everything that's out there. Yeah, you know, Bex, to your point, I think a greater fan service, here's an argument, this might be controversial. Let's see if you guys agree. I think a greater fan service than all the blatant callbacks would have been simply capturing the original visual feel of the movie. Right? I think that if they could have just captured that, all of a sudden you don't need to go out of your way to put all these little Easter eggs in there. A couple of them are fine. But if you can, you know, it's like I don't know, it's like when people have to say they're something because they're not. It's like they go around talking to like all these new people. They're like, I'm a good person, I swear, you know, you don't know me, I'm a good person, but really they're fucking someone's grandma, you know, some shit like that. It's like Halloween has to go out of its way in 2018 to tell everybody that it's related to that first one and has all these callbacks and shit, when really they should have just, you know, made it feel that way, I think. But maybe we're putting a little bit too much emphasis into that. At the same time, if you're looking at it from, yeah, that's where I'm going next. At the same time, like if you're looking at it from David Gordon Green's perspective, people are going to criticize the shit out of you if you make it exactly like the original Halloween in that way. You got to make it your own. So maybe that was all intentional too, but just me personally as a viewer, I didn't like that aspect. Right? All right, so we're on the same page about a lot of stuff. Hi, Ladylike. All right, so are we ready to start this trailer? I'm going to bring it over so that we can see as much of it as possible. I want to make sure we got noise. So first, we'll just watch it through. We'll just watch it through once, then we'll go back and break it down scene to scene. I don't think we have audio, do we? Okay. I didn't. My headphones bugged out. short and sweet. Short and sweet. What I like about it. All right, let's start off with the opening scene. All right, this right here. What do you guys think? Is that Laurie's house still burning? Is that the same house? Because to me, I would say probably, because there's a fire. It would make sense if they open up with this being the first scene in the trailer, right? So, questions. Yeah. They have that street blocked off too. Now, fire truck. Do you think that's part of the scene, or do you think that's just behind the scenes safety? Or maybe both? Because I think that's probably just behind the scenes safety. And it's cool. It's cool what a movie set looks like. It's pretty badass. Where the hose at? Get it? There's a hose. Yeah. So this is definitely the first scene. It looks pretty. The house is still standing. So that tells us that, well, I mean, we don't know until we see the movie, but we'll find out more later in the trailer about the fire. All right, let's move on. That's David Gordon Green. Looking like he's got this shit. So, cool haircut too. What kind of headphones are those? Those are like $10 headphones. Nothing really to say there. This, I don't know what's going on camera. I don't know if we can see this. See if I blow it up. I don't know what's going on. Is it? I don't know. I can't tell. It's too blurry. Okay. Interesting. That's good to know. But either way, that's cool to see someone shooting a scene as it's being shot. Someone's shooting the shooter. It's a paradigm. Alright, we'll roll through. It's like Inception of movies right here. A scene within a scene. So Dylan Arnold will never escape. They'll be stuck in this scene for 100 million years unless they wake up and fall. And Leonardo DiCaprio's around the corner. That's how it works. Okay. This is interesting. This is exciting. This is Anthony Michael Hall, correct? This, yeah, Tommy Doyle from the original. Thank God it's not fucking Paul Rudd. That's all I can say. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I'm pretty excited that it's not Paul Rudd. So, but what makes me interested about this scene is the where, what, and why. Obviously, we're getting the gist that since we don't see Laurie early in the trailer, she's probably in the hospital, right? Is it Brian Andrews? Wait, what? What are you saying? Isn't that Anthony Michael Hall? I don't know. I get names. Oh, I was like, what the fuck? I get names so bad. Yeah, there we go. I'm terrible with names. Don't troll me like that. Vsauce, I'm not playing it. I can't do it.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Butcher!
You're worried about the cop's time. You think I framed you and you're worried about the taxpayer?
Welcome, Butcher. So this has me wondering, you know, it's just interesting to know where this came from. Did he talk to Laurie at this point? Does he just hear the police reports? What's going on? Did someone just get killed? Is he being proactive? So that's pretty interesting. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, Butcher, we're going over the Halloween Kills teaser trailer for next year's movie, the sequel to last year's Halloween. Frame by frame, we're discussing it. So this is, if you've seen the original Halloween, this guy's playing the little kid named Tommy Doyle that Jamie Lee Curtis was babysitting in the modern day movie. So we're wondering why he's roaming the streets with a fucking baseball bat. I'm assuming because Michael Myers is on the loose and he's trying to kill him. Even though you can't kill the boogeyman. Alright, next scene. This is interesting because, is that Michael Myers' hand? Chances are probably, but it might not be. That could be anybody's hand, literally. It's definitely, if it was Michael Myers' left hand, we would know for sure. Because he's missing a finger at this point. Laurie Strode blew it off and he's like, Eee! That's what Michael's like right now. Except he doesn't make any noise, he just stares. So, I don't know, but that's definitely a fucking butcher knife. Yeah. Yeah, it's blurry. It's blurry, but then again, I've seen in movies where they have a close-up shot like this, and they make it look like it could be the killer just to be deceptive, but I don't see Halloween going. Oh! What's up, gamer? Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, but I don't see them going the mystery route at all. Who knows? Halloween doesn't seem like that type of franchise, right? Okay, this I believe to be Lindsay Wallace. And then she turns her head looking for something behind her. Okay, take note. I know this isn't the finished product here. But this does not look like a dark Halloween-esque area. You know, if you're channeling the lighting of the original Halloween, this is the kind of thing I'm thinking of. To explain it to you guys, in the original Halloween, the coolest thing was how many patches of complete blackness there were on screen that Michael Myers could have been hiding in. So in a scene like this, if this is going to be similar to the final lighting. Yeah, there is blue light. That's true. But they don't have the contrast correct. Because right here, how many spots on screen could Michael Myers be hiding in plain sight? And it's like nowhere. Maybe in the bushes or behind a tree. But, I mean, I don't know. That kind of takes me out of it because it doesn't build the suspense. Like, I don't know. That feeling in the first one of like he could be anywhere, literally anywhere. That was what was so interesting about it to me. What made it so suspenseful. But here, we feel safe because we know he's not anywhere on screen. That he's somewhere off screen. You know what I mean? There's a certain safety to it. Yeah. Yeah, I hope so, but it's still reminiscent of Halloween 2018 with the example I was giving you guys of the lighting. So, this would be a good example if they keep going down that path. But yeah, either way, this is probably someone, it might be like her kid or something on the swing set. You know, who swings anymore? That's dangerous. And, yeah, I'm sure she hears something. Maybe she doesn't know Michael's on the loose yet. Yeah. Nice. Okay, next scene. What do we got? There's Michael. Do you think that this is a scene in the actual movie, or this is just James Jude Courtney getting ready to do another scene? Because I don't know. It looks like it could be in a hospital. 100%. It looks like Michael could have infiltrated the hospital. A la Halloween 2. Possibly. Who knows? But it might not be at all. What do you think? How would you guys feel if Michael went back into the hospital after Laurie again? Would that be too uninteresting, or would you guys like that? Because hospitals are creepy. 100%. I wouldn't like it. It is. So, Butcher, to catch you up, in the original Halloween, that was 40 years ago, Michael Myers was, what, 18 years old? He was like 18 in the movie. And this is 40 years later because Jamie Lee Curtis is old as shit. And what they did with the 2018 sequel is they cut all the sequels out. It's a direct sequel to the original Halloween. So we have Halloween 1 and then Halloween 2018. So he gets captured at the end of the original 1978 version. That's a retcon. And he's basically locked up for all these years. And Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, has been preparing to kill his ass if he ever escapes. She's like traumatized and paranoid as shit. So in 2018, he gets out and yada, yada, yada. And now we're here. But yeah, it's an old Michael. And the guy that they had playing him was about the same age. I think he's, what, 60 years old? James Jude Courtney. He's also a stunt actor. It is. That is true. 61 by now? All right. Fair enough. Yeah, he's late teens, early 20s. But the idea behind Michael isn't physical. It's evil. It's just pure evil embodying a fucking body. Nobody knows what or why. That's the mystique. Once all those sequels hop in and start trying to explain all his intentions, he loses the base of his character, I think. But anyway, next scene. David Gordon Green. It looks like we have a old school. That looks like an old school cop car, right? This looks like a flashback. Is this a flashback scene? Is Lonnie... there is Lonnie. He's right there. He's right above the cop car light. Yeah, that is Lonnie. That's the old school haircut. That's pretty cool. They did that well. Yeah. So, Bex, do you remember Lonnie from the original? The dude that smashes little boy's pumpkin outside of the school? They also mentioned his father in 2018 and all that. Yeah, that's him. And I guess that he encounters Michael that night, as we'll find out. What's this? Okay, we have someone in a cop car. Is that a cop car or an SUV? We have someone in a car. That might be the chick everyone's talking about who originally rode to the asylum. Yeah, Marion Chambers. That's the chick in the original movie who originally rode with Loomis to the asylum, where Michael puts his hand through the car. I think that's her. And I think that based on this, it happens to her again, right? I think based on this teaser, that it's going to happen all over again. Yeah. Yeah. She is. She was the first one to experience the evil since he was a child. Okay, here's the flashback scene. We got Michael in the bushes. Oh, I didn't. Hold on, let's go back. Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's the flannel. That's the flannel. Interesting. So it's almost like Lindsay got alerted at the swing set that shit was going down and went to pick up. I don't know. Somehow they got together. That's interesting. Okay. That is, yeah. Alright, so this is the flashback. That's Lonnie walking along. That's Michael Myers being a bushwhack, just like me, hiding behind the bush. Keeping on the little child. Getting ready to eat him for lunch. And this is obviously before the days of kids using pillowcases for trick-or-treating. Because that's a plastic motherfucking pumpkin if I've ever seen one. Alright, what's this? Next scene. Okay, just more shooting on a ladder. That's like an 8x scope from PUBG right there. Zooming in on the enemy. Sniper. Oh, okay. This is what's her name? If you look carefully, we'll slow it down. We'll slow it down. She gets out and she slams this door like a motherfucker. Watch this. Boom! She's pissed. Which makes me think that someone she knows and loves just got stabbed. Probably her boyfriend. Maybe. Maybe her boyfriend gets offed. He's supposed to come back. Right? Yeah, because this is taking place the same night, right? This is definitely the same night. Yeah, it looks like she's about to shoot somebody in the face. Now this is the mom. Making her only expression I've ever seen her make. That weird blank, like... You know? Oh, it doesn't. Oh, you know, does it? Is that Jamie Lee Curtis in that reflection? Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it's JLC. I can tell by the wig. It's gotta be. I think it is. I think it 100% is. Use Judy Greens. I didn't see any of them. I gotta catch up on them. But I mean, I don't know much about her as like an actor, but in that movie, she's just very like, you know. I think so. That's probably the ultimate end game. Which the bait and switch was good. It was, but it wasn't like I'd probably forget it more often than I remember it. In the moment, it was good. All right, next scene. Here it is. Here's your girl Marion. Appears to be Marion in the car, recreating the original scene where Michael bashes through in the beginning. Man, that's a sad life. Michael Myers punches through your car window twice in one lifetime. Don't even got car insurance. No one believes you that it's Michael Myers. Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully, yeah. I mean, we're not going to know until it, you know, until it's out what the final product's going to be like. They still have plenty of time for post. Absolutely. Yeah. So if they could go, they might even make it multiple ways. They might make a warm version, a cool version. Watch them all. You know, who the hell knows? Yeah. I really, like, that would be, if they keep most things the same in terms of characters and Michael Myers and shit, the single biggest addition to me would be the blue light. If they could create that ambiance, you got something special, I think. 100%. I really do. If you can try and capture, now that they've made that sequel and David Gordon Green made his own thing, they could do whatever the fuck they want now. Really. As long as it doesn't get too crazy. So if they went back to that, that'd be really nice. Alright, here we go. Here's the nurse. Man, and if you remember in the Halloween 2018 when Michael Myers is doing that that walk through the town, killing people with hammers and knives and shit, and he's out on the sidewalk, that nurse gives him that look like, I'm gonna fucking shoot you. Oh, hold on, we gotta, do I need to... I'll move it over here so you guys can see it better. There we go. You can see her. Same nurse outfit, same night with a pistol. But yeah, she looks at him. She's like, bitch, if you take one more slow ass step towards me, I'm gonna shoot you. And then she gets in the car. So it's, you know, now she's shooting his ass. Is that Michael though? I mean, it looks like the coveralls. It looks like the boot. Oh shit. Yeah, that's the same. So we go from a blue van here. Yeah, so he was driving, which, who the fuck taught this guy to drive? He's driving everywhere. And then we go here. So that appears to be the same vehicle. And who does he have by the throat? Because he's fucking people up right now. Yikes. Now we get a good look at the mask here. That's interesting. The mask appears to have a little bit of blood on it from probably when what's her name did the turn at the end of the movie and grazed his mask with a bullet. That's probably what that's from. Doesn't appear to be burned. There's a lot of talk about whether or not his mask would be burned in the fire. It doesn't appear to be burned at all. He probably got out pretty quickly. Okay, alright, so that is Lindsay. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of altering the mask too much aside from just natural aging. Rob Zombie tried that shit. It was awful, in my opinion. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, and he's just pushing her into the car. Alright, this is a fucking fantastic shot right here. Oof. Michael Myers. So it looks like he's got some sort of pickaxe or something that he probably dug his way out with. This is the money shot. And my favorite shot in Halloween 2018. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's badass. I didn't even realize that. That's really badass. Holy shit. Yeah, they are spraying the house. Oh, man. My mind just went so many places with that. Well, so maybe they're trying to account for Ray. Maybe the cops told the firefighters how many people were in the house when the fire started. Maybe they think Ray's still alive or something, and they go in there and Michael is just behind the smoke and pops out. Ooh, man. Stabs him directly in the oxygen tank. My God. And then I'm assuming if he's walking out the front door, that the firefighter's no longer on this side of the house. Right? There has to be a firefighter here spraying actively though, right? You can't just set those things up for auto spray. Have you guys seen the fan film Halloween Inferno that came out? We'll have to watch that right after this. It was really good. I really liked it. Alright, so this is Michael trying to take a shit. Just kidding, but maybe. I don't know. Who knows? He's in a bathroom. This looks like it could be a pretty cool scene. Just seen him in the mirror, and then we shut the door on him. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So maybe they're kind of going off that. That could be cool. Alright. We shut the door on him. And now we got Jamie Lee Curtis all bloodied to fuck. So clearly she's going to be spending quite a bit of time in the hospital in this movie. The question is going to be, will she go to Michael? Will Michael go to her? So they'll have her go to him? Because if this is all in the same night, that's a lot of fucking blood. That's a lot of fucking blood. But I think what they're going to use her for in this movie is she's going to be kind of the communication piece for the dialogue of catching us up with all of the other characters from the original, what they've been doing the past 40 years, and how they feel about the situation. She's going to be used as more of that kind of thing than an action piece, which makes sense, you know? She'll drive the narrative still. Yeah, I have a feeling they're all going to have their words with her when she's in the hospital. And there'll be a lot of interesting dialogue there between the characters. You know? 100%. I think that's the way that I would like to see it anyway. But who knows? Alright, moving on. I think that's the end. Alright, so what we got here? How do we think this is going to play out? If you had to go from beginning to end, how do you think this movie is going to go? We're going to start with a fire in the house. Michael kills firefighter. While Laurie's at hospital, Michael's still running through the town. Maybe Anthony Michael Hall and some other town goers are chasing after him. And then it's ultimately going to culminate in a final act with him and everyone, probably. Somehow, some way. I have a feeling Laurie's going to get out of the hospital. She needs all these supporting characters because she's wounded, like, mortally. And then we'll see exactly how it goes from there, I guess. Okay, I see. So they didn't really need her much. And then what will this do to set up Halloween Ends? Yeah. That'd be a fantastic opening. That'd be a fantastic opening. Definitely. Yeah, but where do you think Halloween Ends is going to go? Because, yeah, her and Brackett are definitely going to have some great dialogue, 100%. That's going to be interesting to watch. So, okay. Now, if we're not putting in the business aspect of this, if we're not trying to make maximum money off this movie, which of course Blumhouse was, in the original, well, not the original, in 2018, that end scene, I have Laurie tackling Michael down those steps while the mom and the daughter have to lock them in there. I have her taking the hit right there. I think that would have been a fantastic way to end that fucking movie. I think that would have been amazing. But then you lose Jamie Lee Curtis for the next 2 movies, and you're probably not bringing in the same money. So they're going to preserve her till she's 90. That's just me. I think that would have been much more impactful and interesting. There would have been more of an emotional impact, definitely. And it would have been a shock. That would have been a great shock at the end. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I feel you. Yeah, because I did... So, yeah, the interesting thing with the ending was everyone had a mutual understanding of one another at the end when they're sitting in that car. It's like, oh, they get it now. So you know that their mentalities are going to be a lot different in Halloween Kills because they understand what they're dealing with. They understand the evil. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, apparently they're supposed to fight out on the lawn, right? What did your buddy say about the original ending? How did he like it before they reshot it? Yeah, Allison should be. I think they're grooming her to be the next Laurie Strode, and I think that she could do it. Oh, that's it. Okay, let's go to another negative. This isn't a negative so much as a missed opportunity. In Halloween 2018, when Allison's getting chased by Michael and they play this song right here. Where is it? When they're playing this song right here and Allison's getting chased, they needed to make an epic fucking chase scene. Not a 2-second her running down the street and meeting the cops. That could have been such a high point of the movie if they would have made that chase a little bit more in depth. Yeah. My God. But like, I don't think it's a negative. I think it was fine. And this was definitely my favorite track from the whole thing, music wise. It was definitely, I love it. But they didn't, I don't know. It should have been a little more drawn out because for a lot of people, the best part of the original Halloween was the chase scene where Michael chases Laurie, you know. And if they're going to call back every other fucking thing from the original Halloween, why not have a semi-similar chase scene, you know? That'd be pretty interesting. So, in the end, what do we think? Who's gonna die? Nobody. I mean, a few characters are gonna die in this movie. Who do you think they're gonna be? In Halloween Kills. Okay, yeah. I would have loved to see that. I hope that one day they release that original ending, because I'd love to see it. They should have put that on the bonus features, but I have a feeling they'll re-release that footage in a pack next year. Or at least once we have all 3 films released, they'll put it in a bundle with the original and probably release that footage. They're saving it for a big moment like that. Yeah. Probably after Ends. But I would, you know, that would be so cool to see. So, do we have any other thoughts on the series? On the trailer? If you want me to keep doing this kind of thing, as more information gets leaked, more trailers and such, breaking them down, we can certainly do that. This is actually my first time doing anything like that, so I've never done this before. Normally, I just play games. So if you had fun doing this, we'll certainly do this again. I thought it was fun. Yeah, David Gordon Green, for being his first run with horror, did a real good job. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what people complain about because there's so many different directors, actors and such, that it's not cohesive at all. It's just people trying to make their own thing off the previous thing, and next thing you know, you have a thing that was never the original thing. Not even close. I feel you there. So having the same vision and having that idea go through all the movies would be optimal. Absolutely. And it's gonna happen. I mean, it's happening right now. So we'll see how it goes. But just realizing that that was a firefighter tool that Michael was holding in that fire, that makes me so excited for that beginning of that movie. Yeah. Yeah, and it's got potential to be really interesting, especially with dialogue. Which, how else can you say that in a Halloween movie when we're not dealing with either Laurie or Loomis? You know, dialogue-wise. Like, Loomis always had the best dialogue, but I think we have a potential to get some of that Loomis-esque dialogue about Michael and about trauma from the characters in this movie. Some of that goosebump hair-raising bullshit. You know what I mean? Yeah, because he never did. Brackett never talked about his kid dying. He never got to. Am I right? We got the guy that came up to him and was like crying and told him his daughter died, but they just kind of like ran off. He never got to talk about it. So we'll have to catch up on that. What he's been through the past 40 years. The vengeance he's wanted to achieve. Yeah, exactly. And that's why it would be cool to still have Sartain around, because he's very blunt about how all this stuff is going down. You know? He'd be studying it. Yeah. Exactly. You know, no one else should lose their kid. This and that. All that bullshit. Why is that? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting, yeah. Okay. Wait, who the fuck's Barker? Refresh me. I'm bad with names. Oh, yeah. That guy should not have been the fucking sheriff. It should have been Will Patton. Or at least if they're, like, that guy's a good actor. The guy they had there. Yeah. But, like, the way that they... Yeah, so hopefully, like, in the same vein that Allison's boyfriend was kind of just, like, thrown away, they had a vision for multiple movies, so maybe he'll step it up, and we'll see why they had him cast to begin with. You know? Maybe in the first one he was just introduced there in that way so that they can elaborate on his character and really get him involved. You know? Because, okay, now this is intriguing. So, in the first one, he wasn't taking Michael Myers seriously at all, right? He said, what are we gonna do? Cancel Halloween? You know? So going from that to, holy shit, a bunch of people just died, and Michael Myers lived through a fire and killed my fire department. Oh my god. On his watch. So now not only does he understand what he's dealing with, it's all his fault. Yeah, he did. And he said, you sit there and don't move. And Sartain's like, well, I was sitting here. I don't understand. I love that. Was one of the parts that were funny that I really liked. Sartain saying that, because he wasn't even trying to be funny. He was just like, he's like, I don't get it. Yes. I feel like Halloween Kills is their opportunity to go batshit crazy with the violence. It's gonna be the rock and roll version of Halloween, for sure. There's gonna be bodies everywhere. It's gonna be the most creative violently. Oh, did he? Well, I mean, if you're gonna name it Halloween Kills, there's gotta be a lot of fucking kills, right? In a lot of different ways. And hopefully this time they show them on screen. I understand what they were doing with 2018, where they just kind of did a lot of off-screen violence, because they were trying to preserve the intent of the original, which really used blood very sparingly. But I feel like now the shackles are off. They can get fucking nuts if they want to. And they had a lot of really crazy, dark, morbid ideas with the violence that just weren't portrayed on screen. They could do some wild shit. Yeah, I think so. And why the hell not? You know, if you're making this one, Halloween Kills, why not do that? Well, yeah, when you have a... So, the reason it's hard to please everyone with a Halloween sequel is just how the timeline has carried out. You have so many sequels that are very different from one another, and you have people that at different points in their life saw this sequel or that sequel as their first Halloween movie, and they are biased in those areas. So you have people that are arguing over this one thing that they all actually love. So yeah, it's definitely that. It's because the movies are so different, because there's different angles. Some people love the cult, some people love the brother sister, you know. Some people are purists. I mean, I love the original intent of the character 100%. I love what John Carpenter had in mind. The simple mysteriousness of the original Michael was the best. Well, you know what? Like, Resurrection, I've seen worse horror movies, right? It depends on where you're coming from. Like, it wasn't... I didn't like it. Like, if I'm watching a Halloween movie, I'm watching the original, the second one, Halloween 4, or 2018. Probably, if I'd choose from one of those four. But I don't know. I think it's not good, but I think it gets shit on a little too much. But I also think the people that defend it are defending it a little bit too much too. It's like nobody seems to be realistic. I think it's somewhere in the middle there. You know what I mean? All I know is that if you take Trick or Treat, motherfucker, out of that movie, you got a movie that's 1 point better automatically. Yeah, and the thing is, I don't know anyone that genuinely thought Halloween 2018 was scary. And the reason is, Michael has been around for so long that he's more of a hero than he is a villain. People are happy to see him kill. They're excited about it, you know what I mean? They're not scared of him. They're not scared of him like they were in the 70s and 80s. Exactly. I think the only way that you're even going to do that is if they maybe reboot the movie somewhere down the line with a little bit of a different feel to it. I don't know, maybe. It's probably possible, but on this trajectory, no way. Like, when I sat down and watched 2018, I was like, oh, here comes a horror movie. I'm going to be scared. I was, like, genuinely excited to see how Michael Myers killed people, you know? Yeah. Yeah, but maybe you could, I don't know, it's so touchy. Like, if you just want to, at this point, if you want to reboot the thing, why not just make a different horror franchise, make your own, and do what you want with it, right? Because from an artistic perspective, sure, but from a monetary perspective, you want that license, because that's bringing in a lot of money, regardless of what you write, at least for the first movie. Yeah, if they had redone the original in like a tasteful way, respecting the original but having a little bit more violence, I think that would have been pretty cool. I mean, I would have watched it, I would have liked it, but some people would have had a problem with it, definitely. We're not gonna make everyone happy. I don't think it would have been better than 2018. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fair enough. But that's a movie industry problem. Yo, Morpheus, you should join my Discord so we can talk about this shit as we get more developments. Also, give me a follow on here so that, because I'm going to be doing more of this in the future. We're going to be doing more of this in the future, and, yeah, you seem to be really into it. I like that. So we can have these discussions more often. There we go. Normally I play, Dead by Daylight, PUBG, or, like Planet, like right now on Planet Coaster, I'm building a Dead by Daylight themed park. And there's actually, I'm on PC, but actually I created a mini Haddonfield, Illinois in Planet Coaster with a ride that goes through it called The Shape. You'd probably think it's pretty awesome if you want to see it. It starts out at the Myers house. I created the original Myers house. It goes through a couple houses, then through the Haddonfield Memorial Hospital. So maybe I'll switch over to that in a second here. But I guess that wraps up our Halloween conversation. That was really fun. We should do some more of that in the future, definitely. And just like 2018, there's going to be updates every couple weeks. Different tidbits of information. We'll discuss them. Right? Even if I'm playing a game, if you want to come in here and discuss it, feel free. Come in here and ask me questions or talk about it, or let me know if you heard anything.